Hey guys, brianajdeans here. Today I'm going to be doing a get ready with me video. I just want to sit down today and talk to you guys about health and wellness and also do my makeup with you guys. This should be fun. Let's go ahead and get right into it. So I already washed my face, put on my moisturizers, my serums, and my SPF. So now I'm going to go ahead and put on my primer, and this is the Versace Skin Tune primer, and I think this is so amazing. It gives you such a flawless base to work with. So all I need is just a little. I don't like to use too much of this, especially because it's so small. I just use a little bit because a little bit goes actually a long way, and I just put it on my T-zone where I get oily the most and just work from there. So I swipe it just a little bit and then I actually pat down the product. And then also I'm gonna go ahead and get my lips moisturized with this Laneige lip mask. These are my favorites. They're super moisturizing and I just love how pillowy soft it makes my lips. So for foundation, I'm going to start with my Pat McGrath Labs foundation. One of the best foundations ever in my opinion. This is a sheer to medium coverage. It gives you a my skin but better finish. It's so beautiful and flawless, and her color range is amazing. So I use this one. This is medium deep 27. I use it as the base foundation. I actually use two foundations. I use this one as the base. It has red and gold undertones. This is what I use as the base foundation. And then the second foundation that I'm going to use is medium deep 29, and this is more of just golden. So I'm going to use it in more like the highlighted regions of my face where the light reflects the most. So I'm going to go ahead and start with medium deep 27. And when it comes to foundation application, for me, I'm more of like a sponge girl, but today I'm going to be using my hands. I really love the way my foundation sets when I use my fingers. Now, some people may think that's weird to use your fingers, but I feel like when you use your fingers to apply your foundation, for some reason it sits on your skin so much better. It looks more flawless. It looks more of like a skin-like finish, and it's just beautiful in my opinion. So I just pat the product into my skin. And this you have to take your time to do to make sure it's even, to get it to really just sit nicely on your skin. And if you watch like a lot of Pat McGrath tutorials and like see her do the model's makeup backstage, she actually uses her fingers to apply the foundation, and I think she uses her fingers to apply the concealer too, and it looks flawless. So don't be scared to go ahead and use your fingers to apply, because the finish is sometimes better in my opinion. As when it comes to foundation too, do not forget to add some foundation on your neck, especially if your neck is exposed in what you're wearing. So it's just like a seamless look. Like I said in the beginning of this video, I wanted to also talk about health and wellness, because I feel like it's such an important aspect of our lives that a lot of us, we get so busy and caught up in our everyday situations that we neglect our health. And our health and wellness is such an essential part of the quality of our lives. So my first tip is going to be exercising. Exercising has changed my life. I actually used to be an athlete at one point, and I ran track. And I feel like from those days of being an athlete and learning how to be disciplined with my body and what I put in it, it set me up to still be doing that now and taking care of myself and realizing how essential and important exercising is for you. Just being active in your life, it really makes a difference. And I feel like those things are the real wealth in your life. Sometimes people think that they don't have the time to go to the gym, but trust me, you do. There's so many distractions that we have throughout our day. There's one day a week where my phone just tells me how many hours I spend on my phone average a day. And sometimes I'm shocked. So I know for sure, okay, if I carve out at least 30 minutes to go to the gym and just do something, it's better than nothing. It really creates such a change in you that you feel so much better about yourself. So my point that I'm trying to get across with this is find a workout routine that works for you guys. Try to move your body as much as you can when you can. If it's 30 minutes, if it's 20 minutes, even if it's 10 minutes per day, it adds up. It's a buildup of momentum. It will help you propel forward in life and live a much higher quality life. And if you're one of those people who have a hard time being in the gym, like you just find it so difficult, I recommend just taking baby steps. First, start off with walking. Walk in your neighborhood, walk at your local park. Guys, during the pandemic, gyms were closed. Like, you couldn't do much in gyms, and it was annoying to work out with a mask on. So I would find myself walking outside, walking in my neighborhood, walking at my local park, and I loved that. It cleared my mind. It gave me so much more motivation. Being in nature, like, it does something for you. It's good for your mental health. It clears your mind. So don't neglect it, guys. It makes such a huge difference in your life, in the way that you age, how you look, your skin, the way you feel, and the way you see yourself in the mirror. Okay, so I got the foundation down, and look how beautiful this looks, you guys. It's like a my skin, but better type of finish, like I was saying before. It's nice and dewy. It's just a beautiful finish. And also, I didn't even use much. Like, I just kept going over and tapping, make sure that it's all blended out, that even make sure that you get the high points right here and go back here just a little bit, so there's no line of demarcation, and that is just a flawless look. And then now I'm going to go in with my concealers. These are also from Pat McGrath. I also use two different types of concealers. This one is a little bit brighter, so this is just to brighten the under eye, and this one, I use this one interchangeably with this one. Sometimes I'll just use one concealer, but it depends on the look that I'm going for. If I just want a more warm look, I'll go for this deeper one. This is medium deep 27. And then if I want a more brighter look under the eye, I will use medium deep 24. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually use both of these today. So I'm gonna start off with medium deep 24. And the undertones in this, it's more yellow golden. So like I said, just to brighten it up. It has a nice creamy finish. So after you tap it into the skin, it just looks like skin. It's just beautiful. I just like do like a dotted line all the way up, give it a more lifted look. And then I go around my mouth as well. And just a little bit on my forehead. For some reason, my forehead does not like to take makeup like that. I don't know why. Guys, does that happen to you? Let me know in the comment section as well. Is there like one part of your face that doesn't take the makeup very well? For me, it's definitely my forehead. So I just try to be a little bit more minimal with the makeup that I apply on my forehead. I don't use a ton of product on my face, but like, I don't know, makeup just doesn't like to sit well on my forehead. Still going to be using my fingers. I feel like, especially with creamy concealer, using your fingers, just the finish is beautiful. With the warmth of your finger and like the way that the cream melts, it's just beautiful. It's so flawless. So tip number 2 now is going to be making sure you take your supplements and vitamins. Guys, a lot of the time we are lacking so many minerals, so many vitamins, so many electrolytes that we need to function, because a lot of the food that we eat nowadays tends to be genetically modified, and we're missing a lot of nutrients that we need. So we have to supplement. And I recommend going to your physician and probably doing like a blood test to see what you need, if that's available to you, or if you know what you need, go ahead and take it. Like, especially for women, like I feel like with women, B12, folic acid, iron is so essential for us because we menstruate monthly and we need to replenish these minerals and vitamins within our body. And then especially if you're a woman looking for in the future to have children, those things are so essential because a lot of women lack. For me, a multivitamin that I take every day is prenatals. It's prenatals with iron. I got these from CVS and they are great. I actually do see a difference and I do feel better. Sometimes I feel like I lack iron a lot, so adding in some additional iron into my body with these supplements, I think is a great idea. Vitamin D, I think vitamin D is so essential, especially for people of color, because we need more vitamin D. Our skin produces more melanin, so vitamin D is pretty essential to us. It's essential to everybody, but you know, we need a little bit more. So I highly recommend taking vitamin D supplements, especially in the wintertime, you guys. Oh my gosh. Wintertime can be very difficult for me because the days are so short. It's dark most of the time, and it can be depressing. And that can dawn on you not getting enough sunlight in your life. It can actually drive you insane. It can give you clinical depression. There's just a lot of issues that lacking vitamin D can bring on into your life. So I recommend taking supplements if you can go to your physician and get a prescription for some vitamin D, because usually the vitamin D that they're going to prescribe you is much better than the store brands, because the store brands have soy mostly in it. I don't know why, but yeah, just taking vitamin D supplements makes a huge difference in your life, especially if you live in an area that doesn't get a lot of sun during the winter time and it snows a lot. Take some vitamin D. It won't hurt you. So this is the concealer tapped in. Oh my gosh, guys, this base is already like amazing. Look at that. It's so flawless. I feel like it gave me a more awakened look because my little eye bags are not, like, you can't see them as much. And then those dark circles are brightened, so I just look awake and youthful. Okay, and then now I'm gonna go ahead and with the medium deep 27 just to give it a more like a nice transition. And that I'm just gonna put it along my cheeks, just under where I put the concealer, or the first concealer. So like right here, not too much, because I don't want it to be, because the concealer is more thick, I don't want it to look like cakey. And then I use the same finger so it blends nicely, and also around my mouth area too, just on the outer parts, because I already concealed up here and right here, and I like right there looking brighter, especially if you're gonna put on lipstick. I don't think I'm gonna put on lipstick today, but having that brightness around your mouth area really brings out your lips. Guys, I've been wearing these products for over a year now. Every time I get my base down, I'm just amazed. Pat McGrath products are so beautiful. Like, they're so worth the money in my opinion. Her finish is just out of this world. Going to my third tip, and this is going to be detoxing and making sure you watch what you eat, because what we eat really affects how we live and the quality of our lives. You have to be intentional, do your research, learn about nutrition, learn a little bit about nutrition, you guys. Learn like the basic essentials of nutrition, and be careful what you buy at the stores. Like for me, when I go grocery shopping, I'm very intentional. Try to stick with a more whole food regimen. Drink water, you guys. Drink tons and tons of water. You can make fruit water, you can make green juice, so many other things, cucumber water. You could juice a lot of your vegetables too. I used to do that a lot. I used to juice my vegetables, my fruits. I used to juice a lot of pineapple. Guys, pineapple is a great detoxer. Cucumber, apples, it's so good. That was my favorite. That is something that I used to juice and drink a lot. You can make smoothies. Being healthy isn't boring, and it's not a tasteless life. You can make healthy food really tasty and really good. You just have to do your research and know what you're buying. That's pretty much it in seasoning your food. You don't have to eat healthy and feel miserable at the same time. Like, you don't have to do that. Don't do that to yourself. I wouldn't even recommend that, guys. It's not fun. That's not a way to live for me, and I wouldn't want that for you. So now that I got most of the cream products on my face, now I'm gonna go in with powders. This is another Pat McGrath product. This is her under eye powder. I believe this is a medium deep, I think three. It's not too dark and it's not too light. And I go in and just pat a little bit under my eyes and just a little bit around like my highlighted points of my face, so there's not a lot of shine. And I love the finish of this powder because it's not gonna give you like a overly powdered look. It still keeps that nice skin-like dewy finish. All it's doing is just setting the makeup in place. So my next tip after that is just being intentional. Being intentional with everything that you do will make a huge difference in your life. Like, why are you doing the things that you do? Sometimes you have to ask yourself why. Say for instance, like me, with YouTube is definitely a journey, and everybody's journey is just so different. And with that, you have to ask yourself, why are you doing it? Because like a long time ago, you didn't really make money on YouTube. And now it's like a fair game where you can make money on YouTube. It's a profitable business. But why are you doing it? What is your intentions behind it? And where are you leading people to? Because you have an audience. What are people following? What is the benefit of people watching you? What are you going to bring into their lives? And I've asked myself that multiple times, because a lot of people, you can look at them and see that their whole goal is just to go viral. And it doesn't matter what they go viral on. It doesn't matter the influence that they're bringing on to people and why they're even doing it. It's just a whole goal of attention. And I've realized that having attention isn't everything. What are you doing to gain the attention, and why? I want to explore more of my creative abilities. I want this to be a creative platform and to help people and to teach people if I can. I just love creating, and I just want to see my ability to explore that and what will come out of it, and inspiring people on top of that. And for you too, whatever you're doing, not just YouTube, that was just one prime example, but university, your work life, there has to be a deeper rooted meaning in what you're doing. So you have to really understand, are your intentions pure? Are your intentions to bear good fruit? Are your intentions to prosper and help people and learn more about yourself? You can go deep with it. It doesn't have to be superficial and meaningless. Make your life more meaningful through your intentionality. After being intentional, my fifth tip would be affirmations. Affirmations can really help with reassuring yourself of who you are and why you're here. There's life and death in the tongue. Choose life. Speak life into yourself. A lot of times you have to say these things out loud. You're worth it. You're good enough. You're loved. You're wonderfully and fearfully made. You're here for a reason. You're here for a purpose. Be intentional to find that purpose. Now next, I'm gonna go ahead and bronze with this Pat McGrath. This is actually setting powder, but I love using this as bronzer because it's a little deep. This is medium deep 4. I believe that's like their last darkest shade within the powder. It just gives me a nice, beautiful, warm, sun-kissed glow. It's so funny, like I'm one of those people, if I have a brush and it works, and even if it breaks, I'm not getting rid of it, because look at this. I don't know what happened to the handle. One day it just disappeared, but I love the way this brush just lays down the bronzer on my skin. So I'm like, hey, I'm using this till the wheels fall off, and clearly, like, so yeah, I just go in lightly and go around like the shaded areas of the natural shaded areas of my face. So just around the forehead, and you just do it ever so lightly. You're gonna have to go a little bit into the hairline so there's no line of demarcation, because we don't want that. So I just use it lightly. The finish is beautiful, as with all Pat McGrath products. Just nice around. And usually I do love contouring, but sometimes I don't have enough time to do that. And with contouring, it takes a little bit more time. So maybe I'll save that for another video. But I always find it fun. And I don't go like overly heavy with contouring. Like, I like just a natural looking finish. But bronzing can add an effect like that if you don't have time. So I just go into those naturally shaded parts of my face and just give it a little definition. And I love doing this because, like in high school, like if I wore like a tinted moisturizer or whatever, I would just put that on and then go about my business. But it makes you look one-dimensional. I feel like doing this, adding back in the bronzer, gives you that nice three-dimensional finish and like really just shapes out your face. It makes you look really warm and sun-kissed. And I don't go heavy with the powder, like I just tap it in there lightly, go ahead and take off the excess, and I stay mostly like at the end. Like, this is a bad example with this kind of half brush that I'm using, but like if this was a full brush, I'd be at like the very tip and like going very light-handed, because if you're like this, then it's going to be like a heavy shading. If you want more like a nice natural look, you go light-handed and it's just very light and feathery. But if you want like a more harsh, which I don't recommend, it's gonna show like the way you hold the brush. So I'm very light at my approach with this. I didn't think I'd become good at makeup. At one point, I used to wear a little bit of makeup in high school. I didn't wear a lot. I just stopped when I got to university, but that was because my skin was just breaking out so bad, and like I couldn't really, like I wasn't comfortable wearing that and then having bad skin underneath. So I just let it go, and I mostly did like my eyelashes. I did individuals. Those are like super cute. I was really good at that. But my eyelashes are pretty long, so I don't really use them much anymore. I do like an eyelash curl, and it like brings it out and it looks like I have individuals on. But yeah, that's pretty much where I stopped. And I guess over the pandemic and like just sitting during quarantine, I'm having a lot more time to myself. I just developed my skill with makeup, and I'm so much better than where I started, which I'm really happy about. And like that brings in another point, would be consistency. Be consistent with everything that you do. Like if you're really passionate about something, consistency is key. Like if you look sometimes, I'm gonna go back into my example with YouTube. There are some people who their videos are really mediocre, their talking points are not that great, but they still have a lot of views, a lot of subscribers, and they're doing pretty well. And that is because of consistency. Consistency is key, and no matter what you do, YouTube, school, life, working out, eating well, everything, guys. Consistency, consistency, consistency. Becoming better requires consistency, and I try to tell myself that every single day. Be consistent, be consistent. Even if you don't do a good job the first time, learn from that and be consistent. Grow in your consistency. You're not going to be perfect the first time you do it, the first few times you do it, but be consistent so you can grow and get better. Consistency is key, you guys, in everything, all aspects of life. Now, going into my next point, and I feel like this is the most important, crucial point that I'm going to make within this whole video. All the other points that I've made are important, but this is the most important, and I feel like if you don't have this foundation, everything else is just going to sink under. So this next point is having a relationship with Christ, Jesus Christ, God. And for those of you who are unbelievers, you just don't have any hope or you don't believe in anything, before you click out of this video or skip across this point, hear me out, because this can be life-changing for you if you just have listening ears and are open to receiving. Having a relationship with Christ, knowing Him and accepting Him in your life is life-changing. That is the key to success. That is the key to health and overall wellness in everything that you do. The key to abundance, the key to happiness, the key to joy, the key to having a fulfilling life. Now, the road isn't easy. There's tons of stumbling blocks. We're human. We live in a flawed, sinful world. Life isn't going to be perfect, but with Him there, you glide and you get strength within those rough patches within your life if you accept Him and call on Him as your own, as your Lord, as your Savior, as your helping hand in all that you do. And this is not something that, I don't want to beat down in you or force upon you. It's something that you have to hear and receive and ask Him to come into your life. Like, that is the key thing. You have to experience Christ for yourself. And if you're open to receiving Him, asking Him to reveal Himself onto you, show you who He is, and take those steps as baby steps in the beginning. Just a mustard seed is what it starts with. And if you look up what a mustard seed is, it's tiny. That tiny little mustard seed turns into this humongous, beautiful, deep-rooted tree. So start there. Start with that mustard seed, and that is your key. That is your key to unlocking so much life and optimism and wellness and strength and all the keys that you need to get into wholeness, come into confidence, come into who you really are. The world deceives us. The enemy, the devil, Satan deceives us in so many areas within our lives and blocks us from knowing who we really are and whose we really are. Even if you're not a believer, you're the son or daughter of the Most High God. Even if you don't know it, even if you don't want to accept that, you are. That's who you are. And there's so many gifts and strengths and talents within you. You don't even know what you're missing if you're not under the coverage of Christ. So I challenge you, get to know him, call upon him, ask him wholeheartedly to show and reveal himself within you, and it will be life-changing. It's just something you have to experience. You just have to be open to receiving. And that, my friends, is the ultimate key to health, wellness, wholeness, joy, peace, through all the heartache and pain that we experience within this world. So learn about him. He's there for you. He's there with the ultimate love that you need within this world. We go around searching for love, wanting love, and that's just something deeply rooted within all of us. Even if we act like we don't want it or don't want to accept it, we all want love. And that's the key. He's the key. He's where love is. If we accept his love, we can learn to love ourselves, and then we can learn to love others around us. Okay, so I finished bronzing, and then now I'm going to go ahead and do my eyebrows. So for me, I love a nice defined shape eyebrow, and I thread my eyebrows all on my own, so I have a nice shape already. And what I do with eyebrows, guys, you have to be so careful with eyebrows, because I feel like most of us have gone through a bad eyebrow phase, but if you try and you are willing to learn, you can get better. And I have gotten better at eyebrows, and I'm so glad. So I just use this Benefit Brows pencil. This is the Precisely My Brow pencil. This is in the shade 4. So I just go ahead and swipe them up. And you don't want to have your eyebrows, when it comes to eyebrow pencils, you don't want to get a pencil that's darker than your eyebrows. You want to get something that's like maybe a shade lighter, so you have soft eyebrows. Brows are very easy to mess up, so you have to be careful, you have to be strategic. You really have to pay attention closely when you're doing your eyebrows and learn from your past mistakes. Harsh, hardly defined eyebrows are not cute, guys. Do not do it to yourself. I've been there, so I'm telling you, you do not want to mess up your eyebrows. Your eyebrows really frame and shape your face. Like, eyebrows are important. I'm gonna go ahead and go in. With eyebrows, I learned that if you stroke them forward, when you're getting defined, stroke it forward rather than stroking it back, because if you stroke backwards, you're gonna create more harshness. You don't want that. You want soft, nice defined eyebrows. So I just go ever so lightly, and I don't create a harsh line underneath. I just do it very lightly, and I take my time because my eyebrows are already shaped pretty nicely. Comb up to make sure that it looks nice and that you're not going too harsh. And look at that. Super nice, not too heavy, still looks very natural and hair-like. So sometimes I go back just a little, just to make sure that that line is defined a little bit, but I don't want to go too harsh because then it creates too harsh of a line and then it starts to look unnatural. So just keep going. And then, like, once I get to like the tip, trying to create a tip, that's when I'm okay with it being a little harsh because I need to define right here. And that's the only place like I'll do like a backstroke and like create just a little bit of a line. But still, I'm very soft-handed at this. Because if you go too hard, your eyebrows can be looking crazy real fast. And look at that. Brushing out. And voila. A nicely defined hair-like finish eyebrow. Not too harsh, not too crazy looking. It was very nice and natural. And then now I'm going to do the same on the other. Now I'm going to go ahead and with the brow gel. This is a 24-hour brow setter by, what's the brand again? Benefit's Brows. I love setting my brows because it gives you that nice laminated brow look, which I adore. And they just stay like this all day. Now moving on to the lashes, my favorite part. So I go ahead and use my trusty eyelash curler. I got this from Marshall's, I believe. It was like $3. I recommend to all women out there to have an eyelash curler with you. Eyelash curlers are like one thing that I didn't know how much I needed eyelash curler until I got one. I love these. So like even on my no makeup days, I will curl my lashes. Like if I don't want to wear any makeup and I want to go out, I would just curl my lashes, define my brows, or even sometimes I don't really, if I don't have time or I like just don't want to, I'll just set them with the brow gel and then I look ready to go. So it's just those little things like curling your lashes, setting your brows. Even if you don't want to do a full face of makeup, you still look put together when you do that. I feel like blush just makes you look so much prettier. Like you look so youthful, awake, and fleshy, and it's just energizing to see. Like whenever I'm wearing blush, it's hard to be in a bad mood. It's hard to even want to stay in a bad mood when you have blush on because it makes you look more happy and lively. I love the color that it adds to the face. It's fun. For dark skin girl, she has the best blush tones for our skin tone. Like I feel like all of them, we can wear all of them and they're still gonna look so nice. And the finish that her blush gives is so satiny. It's just really pretty. It's beautiful. It looks really natural. It looks skin-like. That's one thing I really love with Pat McGrath products. They just melt into your skin. It just looks like a second skin. And I'm just digging through my makeup bag for like her blushes. I have about 4. So I'm either thinking like a pink tone or maybe like a purple. Actually, I think I'm gonna do like purple. So I'm going to be using Night Bloom. This is the Pat McGrath blush and this is the shade. It looks frightening if you're not like used to blush and it's just not something that you use a lot, but this is so gorgeous, guys. Don't be intimidated by this. It looks amazing on the skin. This beautiful red and then this like violet purple tone here. Beautiful. So I'm gonna be mostly using the purple tone. Maybe I'll add a little bit of this red on top. So I don't like going back and forth because I want to keep it clean just in case I just want to use the red alone one day and not like the violet purple color. And these are very pigmented, so you want to go in with ease. Do not go too hard unless you really know what you're doing, but then even still, when you know what you're doing, you still want to go easy at first. You don't want to go too heavy-handed. So I love, like, I do it like a crescent moon shape, basically following the outline. And for me, I love putting at the high points of my cheekbones because I love the lifted look, like I was telling you. And it just makes it more elevated and like more high fashion. It just looks like watercolors. It's blended so nicely and so seamlessly. Just beautiful. And that was just the purple, like the violet looking shade alone. And it's not, as you can see, like in here, it looks a little darker and like scary, but on the skin, beautiful, right? Beautiful finish. Gorgeous. And then I'm gonna add the red on top just to show you guys what it looks like. I was a little intimidated by this red too, but the other day I used it and I was like, ooh, This is gorgeous. Like, this right here is just a look. Like, you could just do this and be done. Like, you don't have to go crazy with the makeup looks. I mean, it's fun to do it sometimes, but sometimes being very simple with your approach to makeup is also fun. Look at that. Just beautiful. Oh my gosh, that finish is gorge. So as you can see, this is the finished look with the blush. I did go over just a little bit and put like a little bit on like the bridge of my nose. I think it's so cute. It looks very sun-kissed and summery. So now I should have done this in the beginning stages after I put on my primer, but I forget sometimes. So I'm gonna go in now with my setting spray. I absolutely love this setting spray. If you guys watched my previous video before this, when I went to Sephora, I got this and it's my favorite. I used to use the Urban Decay setting spray, all night setting sprayer. That used to be my favorite, but then I came across this. This is so much better. This gives more of that really flawless airbrushed look, and this actually sets the makeup and it doesn't move. And it says it does that for, I think on here it promised 16 hours. Yep, sets up to 16 hours, and it's true. No creases, no melting, no fading. This really gives what it's saying it's gonna give. I highly recommend this one. It's so good. I'm gonna give you guys like a simple look. I was gonna do a little bit more, but my camera just keeps giving out on me, and it's been a struggle trying to finish up this video. So I'm gonna go a little bit more simpler than I was planning. I think I'm gonna do just a little bit of eyeliner, just like a nice little fine cat eye, just to elongate my eyes. That is my thing. I just love eyeliner. It's so fun. This eyeliner by Kat Von D. This is her tattoo liner, and what color is this? It's like a dark brown. It's really pretty. This is Mad Max Brown 20. This requires a lot of precision. So I'm using my mirror. You have to look straight into the mirror to make sure that's going to be even on both sides. The next step that I want to go over is stop gossiping. Gossiping can be addictive. It can feel exhilarating, but it's not good for the soul, and it's damaging to our mental space. Like, it does nothing for you, literally. What does talking about somebody do for you? Think about it. Literally nothing. You're just running your mouth, just saying mindless things and damaging that person's reputation, even if they may be a crappy person still. It doesn't matter. Gossiping is not good for the soul. It's not good for your mind, and it's not gonna bring you any peace doing it. Sorry guys, I have to pay attention. It's not gonna bring you any joy, satisfaction, none of that. So you might as well let it go. And it can be easier said than done, because sometimes we make company with people just to gossip. I know that we all have been there, but we have that one friend or friend group that we just gossip with, and that's all that you do. Just gossip about people and lives and lives of celebrities. Even if it's people you don't know, it still can be detrimental to your mentality. So rather than gossiping about people, see if you can speak good things about people and not let gossip over consume you. It may be hard at first. You may want to, indulge in gossiping because it seems so juicy. But after a while, when you stop, you're gonna realize, like, what is the point of this? When people try to bring gossip to you. To me, it just makes you a lot more unreliable, untrustworthy. And I wouldn't want to share information with somebody who I know loves to gossip. Yeah, it's a toxic trait that we gotta let go in 2023. We gotta upgrade ourselves, guys. We gotta be the best versions of ourselves. We can't be mediocre anymore. Like, that's not gonna fly. Filming this has been very difficult because my camera is just not cooperating with me. And then as I was doing my eyeliner, where I'm sitting, it looks like there's a lot of light right here, but it's a little bit dark in real life. So I had to get up and like go into the light and look at my eyeliner. It came out a little bit thicker than I anticipated, and I can't do eyeliner while talking. Like, it just was not working. So I don't know, my hands just did what they wanted to do, and it came out like this. It's not bad. I mean, it's night too, so it's more of like a sultry looking vibe. So yeah, this is just where we're at right now. For me, the longer the liner, the better. Like, it almost looks like it's touching my temple, but I love that look. Like, it's very sexy in my opinion. It really draws you into the eye area. And with this, I don't think I really need mascara because the eyeliner is doing all the work. So yeah, pretty much I just defined my eyes with this eyeliner. And this eyeliner I think is getting a little bit old because it's not as fluid in the paint style. So that's why I was struggling too, but I conquered and I overcame and it looks fabulous. My next one would be Travel More. And all I'm doing, guys, is just cleaning up this eyeliner because it got a little bit thick on this side. So traveling more. Right now, I understand that like the world is still in a chaotic state and things are rough financially for some people. But when you can, and if you can, I highly recommend traveling, getting out of your little bubble that you've been stuck in. If you've never left your state or even your city, that can be very damaging to your mental because there's a whole world outside of your little bubble. But you got to break out of that and explore and see what's out there, see how other people live, see how blessed you are. And there are other people that they're going through so much turmoil, but they still have a smile on their face. They still laugh and find joy throughout what they're doing. Like, if you look at kids in Africa who live in poverty and don't really have much, some of them don't have nothing at all, don't even have shoes to put on their feet, but they're smiling, they're joyful, they're dancing, they're playing around. So really, when you think about that, what do you have to be sad about? You know, I mean, and our issues that we face daily are real, but sometimes we get so stuck and we don't really see how blessed we are that we take what we have for granted. And there are times where I'm like, why am I feeling the way I do? I'm so blessed, I'm so fortunate. And just traveling and experience stuff like that, like seeing it, it's just like, wow, it opens up your eyes to so much more, and to be less arrogant and to, you know, have more compassion for people and understand different cultures, learning about their daily lives, their routine, and letting go of those stereotypes that's created in media and really getting to understand and know others that look different than you, and taking on a whole new experience and viewing the world in a more well-rounded way. I feel like traveling can be such a big learning lesson to you. There are things that you'll learn traveling around the world that you won't learn in school, that you won't learn in university, that you won't learn on your job. So now I'm going to go ahead and highlight. This is Bronze Mirage. Color and the finish is just so pearly, like it's really pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight under my eyebrows. My next point is going to be reading more books. I feel like we live in a generation where we don't read as much. And that's because we have so much technology, so many distractions in front of us that like we've lost the art of reading. And reading is so fundamental, and it used to be so fun. I used to read a lot when I was younger. But like I said, all these distractions just come in and push that out. But I feel like I stepped back into reading, especially over the pandemic. I read like maybe 4 books, and I'm so proud of myself through that, because reading, it helps you focus. I love when I'm focused on one thing at a time. Like, I know we have to multitask and everything, but like when you can just focus on one thing and put your mind to ease, it's like the best thing ever. And then reading, it can be so fun, especially if you like reading a fiction book, and it just draws you over to another world. I love that. And many people love using like audiobooks. I get the convenience of it, but I feel like it's not the same as like reading an actual book, because when you're reading a book, it takes a lot more neurons in your brain to process it, and you're more focused in a way. When you're listening to an audiobook, you could be doing like 10 things at one time. Just like listening to a YouTube video or a podcast. So I feel like you don't get the advantage of what you're supposed to get, like when you're actually reading a physical book. I mean, but to each his own. If you want to do that and you feel like that's your way of reading, totally fine. But I think like picking up a physical book makes a world of difference, and I feel like it's more enjoyable. A book I recommend reading, especially like how it's making points about coming into Christ, getting to know him, especially if you're new to that and you do want to explore, read the Bible. Like that itself is the book of life. Like that's going to teach you so much. If you want more wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, read Proverbs. You'll learn a ton. That's actually what I was reading. Like in the beginning of September, I was going through Proverbs, and there is a lot of wisdom in there. And you just have to ask for more understanding, because not everything in the Bible you're gonna understand like right away. Some of it is just like parables, like speaking parables, and you have to really ask the Lord to give you more understanding through that, so you don't get confused and like go off your own wisdom. And see how fine the formula is. Like it's not like those big old glitter pieces that you can get with other highlights. Like this is like really fine compressed powder. Sometimes I'll go ahead and put like a little bit of highlight on my Cupid's bow, just to bring out my lips a little bit more. Like especially if I don't have any lips, if I'm not using lipstick and I'm using lip gloss, it's just really cute. And then I'm also going to use this highlight as like eyeshadow, just a little bit, and like give it like a halo effect. I am going to go ahead and use my finger with this because it's just going to glide on very beautifully. I start in the center. I try not to go too low since I have on the eyeliner, and just pat it on and move it a little bit, not making too much of a mess. So my last tip on this list is going to be letting go of expectations. And this doesn't mean lower your standards, not at all. But sometimes when we put too much expectations on things, and then especially like people, we tend to fall into disappointment because they don't meet the expectations that we put on them, that we didn't even a lot of the times tell them we put the expectation on them. So when you do that, you tend to be more disappointed, more frustrated, a lot more bitter, and your relationships tend not to be the best. But when you go in with an open mind and not have these heavy expectations for something or someone, you don't get disappointed. You don't get disappointed easily because you didn't have those expectations placed on that person or thing or whatever you're doing. You go in with an open mind and say, okay, I'm gonna make the best of the situation no matter what it is, but I'm not gonna put too much of a heavy expectation of how the outcome is going to be, because you will be disappointed. You will be. Like, there's 9 times out of 10, it's very rare when you put an expectation on somebody or something to go exactly the way you want it, you're gonna end up disappointed. So why even go through that? Why? Just go into everything you do, every relationship that you have, with an open mind. You have your standards, yes, but you expect nothing, so you won't be disappointed with any outcome. That is the key to it. Being water, being like water. I have this quote on my Instagram bio saying, "Be water, my friends," and that actually came from Bruce Lee. And I think it applies so much to all of our lives that we have to be able to adapt and move and change with the flow. And I forgot to mention what mascara I'm using. So this is Bad Gal Bang from Benefit Brows. This is one of my favorites. It gives you that full feathery, voluminous look that I love. This is actually an old one though. I'm just using it like as a base mascara. I tend to use 2 mascaras now. So this is the base. Since it's old and it still gives me that nice voluminous look. And then now I'm just gonna add on my second layer of mascara with this Clinique High Impact Mascara. And now just to finish up the look, I'm just gonna go back over with a little bit of powder. This time I'm gonna be using my Fenty setting powder. This is in the color Nutmeg. just to give it a little touch up. There we go. Okay guys, so that is it. I hope you enjoyed this makeup look. So this is actually fun. I like this like sit down style and get ready with me. Guys, don't forget to give this video a like, and I will see you in the next one. Au revoir.